NFL has always been about attrition, right? Last year at the end of the year, Philly's healthy, Kansas City in the Super Bowl's not.
Can anyone recall that being the predominant storyline preceding the championship game? The assertion that Philadelphia's victory was primarily due to superior health while Kansas City was compromised? Did Kansas City not defeat Buffalo in the conference championship? Was there not commentary suggesting Philadelphia wouldn't even advance into scoring position? And now, retrospectively, we are to attribute the outcome to health disparities. Are we being serious at this moment? We must acknowledge that Philadelphia's key offensive weapons and their quarterback missed regular season contests. Significant contributors were absent. Yet, the emerging narrative suggests Kansas City simply wasn't healthy enough, implying that was the decisive factor in Philadelphia's championship victory. If that was the fundamental, predetermining condition, why was the consensus prediction overwhelmingly in favor of Kansas City? Why did prominent analysis select Kansas City, proclaiming their quarterback's mythical status akin to a legendary basketball dynasty? I have no recollection of any substantive health-related discourse influencing those predictions. None. Zero. If the ultimate result hinged on this variable, why wasn't Philadelphia the unanimous selection? Why is the retroactive explanation that Kansas City was insufficiently healthy, while simultaneously the pregame critique focused on Philadelphia's quarterback being inadequate, their offense being insufficient, and Kansas City's defense being too formidable? I genuinely want to understand the logic. It's unbelievable. What exacerbates the incredulity is the application of an identical analytical framework to a different contest involving Los Angeles. The suggestion arose that Los Angeles would have prevailed if not for a backup offensive lineman, noting a star defensive tackle was applying consistent pressure. The implication seems to be how audacious of Philadelphia to possess elite players capable of defeating another team. What is the argument here? Kansas City was virtually invincible throughout that regular season, losing only a single contest. And now, we are to attribute their championship game defeat to health. That is the narrative being constructed. A fully healthy cornerback intercepted a pass. A fully healthy safety secured an interception. A fully healthy quarterback delivered a record-setting Super Bowl performance. He systematically dismantled that defense. They effectively contained the opposing star running back in a manner no other team managed, statistically one of his least productive outings. And they accomplished this without committing extra defenders to the box, as thoroughly documented by film analysis. It was straightforward, physical dominance. The quarterback responded by elevating his play. Yet, the retroactive explanation is health. I recall no substantive discussion regarding Kansas City's defensive health being a critical factor entering that game. None. They defeated Houston, they defeated Buffalo, they reached the championship, and the prevailing sentiment was their inevitability. The quarterback was deemed inevitable. The coaching was deemed inevitable. It was considered almost insulting to afford Philadelphia a legitimate chance. The sole hypothetical path to victory presented was an otherworldly, historic performance from their running back. That was the extent of the concession. Now Philadelphia wins, and the revisionist claim is they were healthier. Genuinely? I don't recall similar health-based qualifications when Kansas City defeated San Francisco in a prior championship, a game where a key defensive player suffered a catastrophic injury early, and the quarterback subsequently exploited his replacement with surgical precision. That victory was not contextualized by the opponent's health misfortune. It was simply a Super Bowl win. Where is the consistency? What exactly are we doing here? Statements of this nature are presently insane. Kansas City regained health the following season. The commentary was, once they're healthy, they're phenomenal, with claims they were substantially superior to the entire league. And yet, they still lost. They still proved insufficient. They incorporated new dynamic weapons and retained their star tight end. They were not good enough. The quarterback himself has not performed at a championship level for multiple seasons. This is an indisputable reality. The profound irony is the selective application of the injury excuse. When critiquing Philadelphia's midseason struggles, the immediate dismissal was, I don't want to hear about injuries on defense, an inability to run the ball. Stop making excuses. The counterpoint about an offensive line's injuries was met with derision, citing another team's success despite line issues. The records, however, were nearly identical. The defense also generated multiple turnovers against Philadelphia's quarterback, complicating the simplistic attribution. The principle was established. We do not entertain injuries as an excuse. But now, we are fabricating excuses for Kansas City's injuries and simultaneously diminishing Philadelphia's championship accomplishment, a title earned by defeating Green Bay, Los Angeles, Washington, and Kansas City in largely dominant fashion. They amassed 95 combined points in the conference championship and Super Bowl, delivered one of the most commanding postseason performances witnessed, and set a record for average points per game in a single playoff run. And the reductionist conclusion is they were merely healthier. What? Buffalo was ravaged by injuries in a prior postseason. The exclusive narrative was the quarterback's superiority. Miami was decimated by injuries during a frigid playoff game, to the extent they fielded practice squad players and street free agents. I do not recall that context being prominently featured in the analysis of that outcome. By this logic, we could retroactively diminish multiple championships. Even the victory against Philadelphia in a prior year could be contextualized. Philadelphia isn't that formidable. Their quarterback isn't that skilled and hinders the team. He committed a critical turnover in that game. Their head coach is overrated. How impressive is it truly to defeat a team constrained by its quarterback and coach, the two most vital components? I'm not certain it's overwhelmingly impressive. He also defeated a San Francisco team quarterbacked by a player whose current evaluation is not particularly high, and another San Francisco team led by a quarterback that the same commentator routinely dismisses as a limiting factor. Therefore, by this constructed rationale, this quarterback has defeated 3 inferior quarterbacks in championship games, all against injured rosters. San Francisco on 2 occasions. Buffalo while injured, Baltimore while injured. You tell me. You assess the consistency of the argument, but those are simply my reflections. I would be delighted to hear yours. What are everyone's thoughts on the premise that Philadelphia won solely because they were healthier? That this was the exclusive reason and Kansas City was simply too battered? Share your perspectives in the comments section below. I read every single comment. Whether you agree with me or challenge me, let's engage in some dialogue. Let's have some spirited debates, but ultimately, let's simply enjoy the conversation. Please consider subscribing. We are cultivating an incredible community here and would absolutely adore your participation. I aim to build something we all feel a genuine connection to, something we're truly enthusiastic about joining. I believe we are making significant progress toward that goal. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it genuinely assists with visibility and the platform's algorithm. Thank you so very much. I will see you all next time.